So let us start with practical number 10. 10th is extension to the practical 10A and 10B. Now we will specifically concentrate on asynchronous task. Async task is the name of class in short version, but this is stands for asynchronous task. So there are two classes, async task and async task loader. This classes help us to do some background processing. Okay, so we can use async task class or using loader framework, which include async task loader class that uses this class. So in most situations, you will choose to loader framework, but it is important to know how this class can. The user interface thread, when Android app starts, every time it creates the main thread that you know that, which is often called as UI thread. The UI thread dispatches the event. UI thread dispatches the event to the appropriate UI widget, either it is button or class or panel or checkbox, whatever it is. And it's where your app interacts with the component from Android UI toolkit. These components are from UI toolkit. So Android thread model has two rules. Do not block the UI thread. Whenever GUI thread is running, it should be displayed to the user directly. Other background में running वाला जो thread है, that should not block the UI thread. So the UI thread needs to give its attention to drawing the GUI and keeping the app responsive to user input. If everything happened on the UI thread, long operations such as network access or database queries, they could block the whole UI. From the user perspective, the application would appear to hang. Even worse, UI thread were blocked for more than few seconds. अगर 5 seconds से ज़्यादा रहते, then the user would be presented with application not responding. Mobile hang हो जाएगा. So it should not block the UI. The user might decide to quit your application and uninstall. अगर ऐसा हुआ, block हुआ तो unresponsive हो जाएगा. So we need to make sure that our app should not block the UI thread. UI हमेशा पहले priority में रहेगा, वो properly display होना चाहिए. So what we have to do? Okay, complete all working less than 16 milliseconds for each UI screen. Now we can see that once the app or packaged app launch होता है for proper hardware में, तो वहाँ पे ये 16 मिलीसेकंड आपको कम लग रहा है, वो इतना कम नहीं है, वो sufficient है. And whenever your GUI activity और long run रहेगा, तो don't run asynchronous task जो background में चलते रहेंगे या फिर other long running task जैसे UI thread. So if you want to do that, then you can implement the task on background thread using async task. Don't block the current appearing screen. For the short interruptible task, you can also use async task loader class as a high priority class. Okay. Do UI work only on the UI thread? UI का thread आप लोगों का separate होना चाहिए. Don't use the background thread to manipulate your UI. आप लोगों का activity main है जिसमें GUI है, उसी thread से आप लोग उसको GUI को मॉडिफाई करो, टेक्स्ट व्यू में वैल्यू इंक्रीमेंट करो, डिक्रीमेंट करो, या फिर जो भी आप लोगों को यूजर को रिस्पॉन्स देना है वो मेन थ्रेड के साथ करो. बैकग्राउंड थ्रेड शुड नॉट इंटरफेयर विद द UI. दैट कैन बी यूज फॉर सम सर्विस पर्पस बिकॉज एंड्रॉइड UI toolkit is not thread set. That is a drawback, you can say that. And sometimes we don't need that. They have given us the option to use async task. We can use the async task to implement asynchronous long running task on a worker thread. What is the worker thread? It is the any thread which is not the main thread. Activity के साथ जो thread शुरू होता है उसे main thread कहेंगे, और बाकी के जो भी thread बना रहे हो आप लोग, that all are defined as worker. So async task allows you to perform background operation and publish the result on UI thread without manipulating the threads and handles. So whenever this class is executed, it goes with 4 steps. Okay. On pre-execute, this method is required. Next, and very and compulsory method is do in background. Okay, because a separate thread we are going to create, and we do not want that particular thread to block the UI. So thread will be running in the background. We can also use on progress update method. Okay, and we can also use on post execute method. So we will see that method shortly when we are doing the coding. So this is just a diagram which helps you to understand main thread. This is the separate thread जो highlight किया था ऊपर वाला, on pre-execute, on progress update, on post-execute. This task we will do with worker thread in the background. Okay. So these are the methods. So there are some uses of async class. Okay. Async class के parameters रहते हैं, progress bar का हम लोग वहाँ पे दे सकते हैं. So let us go for it. This is the diagram which tells you these methods are there for main UI thread. But this same method we are going to use with async class so that the invocation of UI thread will not be. So what we are going to do in activity main.xml, we are going to add a text view as a label and button. We are not changing here any layout. So this time, this is a normal text view. You can see constraint layout में compulsory constraint के parameters देने पड़ते हैं, left to right, start off, right off, like that. Okay. Here it is important is ID. Okay. Text view का and second button का ID. We can see here on click पे कुछ भी नहीं दिया है. So this we are going to handle in Java. So only simple one text view and one button with ID. Okay. You can see here. So for this practical, I have already created the project, practical number A10C, and here in main activity.java, we are going to use the code. We are not changing anything. So changing anything means we are not changing the layout. Constraint layout का constraint layout ही रखा है, उसमें एक text box ऐड किया, ये रहेगा, और एक button ऐड किया. Now, to handle the button, we will implement the on-click listener of button, and there we will write the. You can see now, we have to use a class. We need to separately create the class which will implement or extend the async task. So we are going to create a new Java class to handle the task in background. The class name we can keep, you can give your name, class name, anything. Okay, but you need to follow the procedure. You need to have appropriate, what we can say, have appropriate extension methods, imports, and then we will use. So how to create a class? We will right click on our package and then we will create a new Java class. I'm showing you that one. This is our package name. I'm going to right click here, new Java class, and here we need to just write the name of Java class as my task. Okay, I'm entering it. You can see empty class is created in our package folder. So here we will first give the input. Okay, so here it was written that we need to generate few methods, but first I will do is to write the input. So we need to write the import in class progress dialog, context class, asynchronous task that we are talking about, button, progress bar and text. Okay, button, progress bar. You can see कि हम लोगों ने GUI में तो प्रोग्रेस बार बनाया नहीं. So it is not mandatory कि GUI में आप लोगों को प्रोग्रेस बार आप लोग एज अ टूल यूज करते हो. हम कोडिंग के थ्रू भी प्रोग्रेस बार वहां पे शो कर सकते हैं. दैट इज हाउ टू डू दैट. यू कैन सी. So first we are going to import progress dialog. Okay, that will help us to create the progress dialog through the code. तो GUI में नहीं हुआ तो हम लोग यहाँ से करेंगे context class, async class और बाकी का button, progress bar और text. So I'm just importing this one. Okay, you can see progress dialog, context, async task. Okay, and now you need to observe this class line public class my task. Here it was written extend async task with 3 parameters. Okay, what is that? Void, integer, and string. Any kind of activity is supposed to be done. So in async class, we have to use this one. So I'm going to extend that class. You can see extend async class. Immediately you can observe that whenever I have written public class my task extend async task, it gives the red line. So what is that red line? You can, if you click here suggestion, it will tell that if you mouse over, you can class my task must either be declared abstract or implement the abstract method do in background with parameters. I have already told you that method is compulsory at the time of explanation. So what we will do now, we will follow the instruction from the book. So I'm going little bit reverse. So we are going to generate the method, and then we need to generate the method on pre-execute, on post-execute, on progress update, do it in background. Okay. So these are the methods that we need to generate. But here, if you follow that particular part and without this one, extending the class, if we are going to click here and right click here and then select the generate, okay, and then override method, you will not find the method that we are looking for. So that's why I have started first imported the important part and then extended this part. And now if I'm going to right click here, then again generate, once again generate and override method. Now you will see the method. Now this threading class is deprecated from the Android, but still support is there. So you can see the methods are there on pre-execute, post-execute, on progress update, and important one is do in background. Okay. So when we will press the OK, you will find all the methods are there or error be chala gaya. So what is the next time? We will write the required code in every method. जहाँ पे जो लिखना है वो हम लोग. So let us see what kind of code we are going to write in class. So in my task, we are going to create a 3 objects, one context class का object, one button class का object, one text view का object, और 4th is a progress dialog का object. Okay, so that objects I am copying first. Where to declare that one? Immediately after class starts. So here we are declaring the object. Next task, we need to write the constructor for my task class. So our my task class is taking the 3 objects. One is context, text view, and button. Okay, and simply this dot context, we are just initiating that or instantiating that one. This dot context is context, this dot text view is equal to text view, this dot button is equal to button. So I'm copying this one. If your class name is different, then you have to use another name for your constructor. My class name is this, so this is my constructor. This we have to write. And now we will start with writing the code. So the first code is here suggested in the method do in background. So let us first find out the method. Where is that? Do in background. This is the method. And here we have to write the code which is suggested in the practical. What we are going to do in there? So in do in background, we are getting some simple integer variable. Okay. Synchronize this. This is possible because we have implemented the AsyncTask. So this method is available here. And we are using while loop with I is less than 10, checking that, and we are using wait. This is again in the millisecond. Okay, we have used sleep, we have used delayed. Now we are using delayed method is for handler, and asynchronous task we are getting the method wait for creating the delay of time. And then we are incrementing the I plus plus, and then we are publishing the progress, publish progress. Okay, so that means we do have to write some code in publish progress. And then catch. This is the simple method. Just I को increment कर रहे with some delay of 1000. So only because method is already written here. So only the inside method का code I am copying from integer I to try. Okay, now you can see last में return download भी लिखा है. Okay, return download finish. So that means we are showing some progress with download finish. Okay, the code you can see here. Do in background में we have just after 1000 millisecond we are incremented the I, and every time that increment we are sending the I variable to publish progress. Publish progress ऊपर रहेगा. You will see that. The next method is on pre-execute. First we will find out pre-execute. Pre-execute मतलब कोई भी execution शुरू होने से पहले GUI draw होना चाहिए. Let us find the pre-execute. ये method है. Pre-execute. यहाँ पे हम लोग कोड लिखेंगे. क्या कोड लिखेंगे? हम लोगों ने GUI में प्रोग्रेस बार नहीं लिया था, तो अब यहाँ पे बनाएंगे. तो प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग का ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया, न्यू प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग में कंटेक्स्ट पास किया तो प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग बन गया। उसका टाइटल सेट किया है, प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग डॉट सेट टाइटल, डाउनलोड इन प्रोग्रेस। प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग का मैक्सिमम वैल्यू 10 है, इनिशियल सेट प्रोग्रेस का वैल्यू 0 है, और जो बाद में डू इन बैकग्राउंड वाला उसको एवरी 1000 मिली सेकेंड के बाद इंक्रीमेंट करेगा। और उसका प्रोग्रेस का स्टाइल लिखा है, प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग डॉट स्टाइल हॉरिजॉन्टल। तो जीयूआई में बनाने से अच्छा यहाँ पे हम लोगों ने कोडिंग के थ्रू प्रोग्रेस बार कैसे बनाते, ये बन गया है बट डिस्प्ले नहीं हुआ है। डिस्प्ले करने के लिए नेक्स्ट लाइन है, प्रोग्रेस डायलॉग डॉट। Okay, hopefully you understand this. Here we are creating the progress dialog box with title, max value, initial value, style, and lastly showing the progress. But where it is happening? Before execution, pre-execution. Okay. So here we are writing this one. And the next part on post execute. After execution is done, execution is completed. What we are supposed to do? So only two things we are doing. Text view dot set text result is what, download finish or something, download is in progress, जो भी वैल्यू आएगा वो। एंड द प्रोग्रेस बार का जो बटन है, जो बटन हमारा क्लिक रहता है, वो बटन को अनेबल कर देंगे, बिकॉज प्रोग्रेस खत्म हो गया तो वापस से प्रोग्रेस बार शुरू होगा। तो आई एम कॉपिंग दिस वन। ओके, एंड पोस्ट एग्जीक्यूट में हम लोग सिर्फ दो वैल्यू लिख रहे हैं। But you can see यहाँ पे result नाम का variable उसमें नहीं है, so don't use this one. We can delete it. Those who are using textbook, they have to delete that one. We need not to use that there. Okay. The next is on progress update. Progress bar जब जब update होगा तो progress bar का value जो भी 10 वैल्यूज उसमें asynchronously आने वाले हैं array में वो पास होंगे। Progress dialog dot set progress. Okay. यहाँ पे progress set करेंगे and text view dot set text download in progress. तो हम लोग उसका टेक्स्ट डाउनलोड इन प्रोग्रेस वहां पे लिखेंगे। तो वी आर यूजिंग दिस वेरिएबल इन प्रोग्रेस अपडेट। तो ऑल द मेथड्स जो जनरेट किए वो सब हमने यहाँ पे। तो नाउ व्हाट इज अवर पार्ट, जैसे ही हम बटन प्रेस करेंगे तो बटन डिसेबल होना चाहिए ताकि वो ब्लॉक ना करे यूआई। ओके, तो वो कोड कहाँ पे लिखेंगे, दैट कोड वी विल राइट इन मेन एक्टिविटी, बिकॉज दिस इज द सेपरेट क्लास. We have not made any connections with the main activity. So now we will go into main activity. Okay. In main activity, we will require some classes to import. You can see bundle class already वहाँ पे रहता है. View, button and text view we will require. I'm copying this one. You can see os.bundle already है यहाँ पे. Okay. And app comp activity भी है. Then we are going to create two objects, text view का और button का. You can see that one here. In the class, we are going to create that two objects and we are going to find the view by ID. So text view, find view by ID. Okay. Button, find view by ID. And then button को यहाँ पे on click listener किया क्योंकि वहाँ पे on click नहीं लिखा था, तो यहाँ पे लिखे button dot set on click listener. Okay. Public void on click. We are creating the object of that class. Which class? My task, जो हमने अभी बनाया है उसका ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया my task. My task में हमने पास किया मेन एक्टिविटी डॉट दिस, ये क्लास, उसका टेक्स्ट व्यू और बटन। फिर वो अपने आप बाकी का कोड वहां से माय टास्क का एग्जीक्यूट करेगा। एंड यू कैन सी जैसे ही माय टास्क एग्जीक्यूट होता है वी आर मेकिंग बटन डॉट सेट अनेबल फॉल्स। उसे कहाँ पे अनेबल हम लोगों ने सेट अनेबल इक्वल टू क्या, पोस्ट। पोस्ट एग्जीक्यूटिव में बटन अनेबल ट्रू, बिकॉज एग्जीक्यूशन खत्म हो गया तो वापस से बटन प्रेस कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पे जब वो प्रोग्रेस बार अपडेट करना शुरू हुआ तो बटन डिसेबल होना चाहिए। तो दिस इज द कोड वी आर यूजिंग इन मेन एक्टिविटी डॉट जावा। ओके, ब्रैकेट का यहाँ हुआ था। नाउ वी विल एग्जीक्यूट द कोड। So as you can see student, there is a button, nothing else, but when I will click the button, progress bar should appear, but button supposed to be disable in the background. Okay, So I'm clicking the button now. Button is disabled, you can see. As we have written the title of progress bar and thread part वो execute हो रहे हैं. Okay. Once the thread is completed, you can see a button is again enabled. If I'm clicking outside, the progress bar will disappear. So that means UI activity is not blocked. जो मेन एक्टिविटी का UI है वो ब्लॉक नहीं हो रहा है और बैकग्राउंड में टास्क चल रहा है जो बटन को अभी वापस से मैं क्लिक नहीं कर सकता हूँ जब तक प्रोग्रेस बार कंप्लीट नहीं होता है. आई एम क्लिकिंग. ओके. डाउनलोड जब फिनिश हो जाएगा तभी ये बटन को मैं वहां पे क्लिक. यू कैन सी हियर अगेन. ओके. So this is the output of your practical number 10. So students, let us start with our practical number 11E. It is related to programming media API. Very simple. And so Android multimedia includes support for playing variety of common media types. So you can play MP3, audio, video, you can show images. You can play audio or video from media files stored in your application's resource. So what we have to do, we need to create a directory special to store these resources in the resource directory only, and then we can use, or you can also play through the network. Network connectivity थोड़ा advanced part है. Network से जैसे stream करके play करना है. We are going to have that practical from playing YouTube and everything. That is the next part. Let us see how we are going to use this normal file. So for this project, we will require, for this practical, we will require one MP3 file, a music file, okay, and that I have already downloaded and kept it ready. Okay, that file we are going to paste it into some folder called as raw. That activity I am going to show you step by step. We have to create a project. We need to add button. This all everything you know. Okay. So in main activity.java, we are going to add a button, and button text will be start. Okay. And there is just a ID to button. Okay. Because this ID we will require to handle the on click. So this is the simple thing. Only one button, and after pressing that button, media should. This is the objective of this practice. So I'm copying this button part. We will go to, we have created the new project A11A, which is showing you the media player ka, how we can play the media. So first we will go into code segment of this one, and here we are going to create only one button. The important part is ID, because on this ID, after finding the view by ID, we are going to handle the on click. So this is one. And now the rest code is creating the directory for our media resource. So you have to click on resource directory, right click on resource directory, then select new, and then directory. Okay. You can give the name of directory raw, RAW. Okay. You can give that name and press OK. And after creating that directory, we will copy our MP3 file from wherever we have downloaded and paste into raw directory. Okay, you can see that is pasting. वो यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. Whatever the name is there of resource. Okay, so I will show you that first. So this is the resource directory. Hopefully everybody is listening properly. I'm right clicking here, new directory. Okay, the directory name is raw material or raw resource. Directory is created. Okay. So now I will show you, I will go to download where I have already downloaded the MP3 file. Okay, I'm copying this file and pasting this file in this directory. Okay, paste. Okay, it will ask you paste करो, rename भी कर सकते हो, refactor करके paste कर देना है. Okay, now next part. First, we need to, Android by default doesn't understand the extension of MP3 file. Sometimes in your machine, this file might be showing you error. You can see here, raw directory में naruto.mp3 आया है, but उसके नीचे red line है. So what is that? Double click करेंगे तो क्या करेगा? It tells us कि Android extension नहीं पता है. Okay? एंड्रॉयड एक्सटेंशन नहीं पता है। तो यहाँ पे आप लोग देखोगे MP3 एक्सटेंशन है ही नहीं, तो ये MP3 क्या है, एंड्रॉयड स्टूडियो डजंट अंडरस्टैंड। So what we have to do? Okay, there is no option for that media extension. In such cases, what you have to do? This selection, open matching file in Android Studio. Instead of this, you have to select the last one. Hopefully, everybody is listening. Open matching files in associated application. Okay, this radio button you have to select. Open matching file in associated application, and just press OK. Okay, it tries to open that MP3 file in whatever media player installed on your operating system. Okay, so if it is not there, then okay, you can see here वहां पे दिखा रहा है। I'm closing that one. So now जैसे ही हम लोग बिल्ड करेंगे प्रोजेक्ट को, अभी तक कोडिंग पूरा नहीं हुआ है, बट दैट विल बी जस्ट remove that error for identifying the MP3. Okay, you can see after few minutes that error will be there. Next is that you can see the error, the names of resource. Okay, names of resource, file based resource supposed to be in always lowercase. File based resource name must be contained only lowercase. You can see file based resource name must contain only lowercase. तो नरूटो का मेरा जो नेम है वो कैपिटल में है। ओके, ये अच्छा हुआ आप लोगों को अभी इस एरर पता चला कि बात नहीं है। तो व्हाट आई हैव टू डू, राइट क्लिक हियर, ओके, एंड रिफ्रैक्टर में जाएंगे, रीनेम में जाएंगे और नरूटो को सिर्फ n स्मॉल करेंगे। होपफुली एवरीबडी इज लिसनिंग दिस वन। दिस इज गुड दैट यू हैव नोन कि कैपिटल नहीं चलेगा। रिफ्रैक्टर करेंगे। ओके, नाउ इफ वी बिल्ड द प्रोजेक्ट, make the project, I think the errors will be okay. Resource is identified by the system. Okay, we will wait for task to finish. Okay, the build is successful. The build is successful. So this is for identifying the resource only that we have to do. So specifically I have stressed on this activity, we have to do that because by default Android Studio MP3 type के file को नहीं जानता है, so we have to do this. The code is very simple. Now we have to handle the on click event on our project. So in main activity.java, to play the music, we will import android.media player, the first one. Just importing that file here, media player. And then again, for identifying the button and this one, so we will require view button and toast message. We will show some toast message after the music playing finished or something. So this class we are importing. Okay. Then Android has audio setting and something that we need not to do. Okay. And just take this one. Media player. We have extended. There is that media player. Import कर लिया है. Now we will write button class का object and then we will find the button class and text view class. So we have created one button class का object bn and then find view by id for bn और bn पे on click listener पे बटन देखो, बटन find view by id किया, बटन का on click listener लिखा, on click में क्या किया है, this is important. Okay, the code you can see is, you might see that is a large code but very simple code है because maximum code is of toast. So media player का code simply इतना है. Okay, we have to create the object of media player also. This I have missed. ये बोर्ड में नहीं था बट हमको मीडिया प्लेयर क्लास का ऑब्जेक्ट ही बनाना है. तो मीडिया प्लेयर क्लास का एक ऑब्जेक्ट बनाया मीडिया प्लेयर, वो भी कॉपी कर लेते हैं हम. ओके, मीडिया प्लेयर एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू आइडेंटिफाई द बटन बाय व्यू आईडी. बटन का ऑन क्लिक पे लिखा, मीडिया प्लेयर ऑब्जेक्ट को इंस्टेंशिएट किया, मीडिया प्लेयर डॉट क्रिएट गेट एप्लीकेशन कंटेक्ट रॉ r.raw.naru. You know that ये म्यूजिक फाइल रॉ डायरेक्टरी में है. देन सिंपली मीडिया प्लेयर डॉट स्टार्ट, बटन को अनेबल फॉल्स किया, टोस्ट में मैसेज दिया मीडिया इज प्ले। दूसरा है मीडिया प्लेयर डॉट सेट ऑन कंप्लीशन लिस्ट। जैसे ही मीडिया प्लेइंग खत्म हो जाएगा, क्या करना है, ऑन कंप्लीशन मीडिया प्लेयर डॉट रिलीज हो जाएगा, मीडिया प्लेयर का ऑब्जेक्ट नल हो जाएगा और मैसेज आएगा एप्लीकेशन कंटेक्ट प्लेइंग डन, मीडिया प्लेइंग डन। ओके, तो दैट टेक्स्ट, तो मैक्सिमम कोड टोस्ट मैसेज का है। मीडिया प्लेयर का कोड मैं फिर वापस से आपको एक्सप्लेन करता हूँ। बटन क्लिक पे हम लोगों ने क्या किया, मीडिया प्लेयर डॉट क्रिएट, मीडिया प्लेयर डॉट स्टार्ट, बट क्रिएट करते वक्त ही उसको MP3 सपोर्ट कर दिया कि ये MP3 प्ले करना है। स्टार्ट किया, बटन को डिसेबल किया बिकॉज म्यूजिक शुरू है, मैसेज दिखाया, कंप्लीट होने के बाद ऑब्जेक्ट को रिलीज किया और कंप्लीट का मैसेज आया, बटन को वापस से अनेबल कर। ओके, so this is the code that we have written there. Okay, we are writing the code here. स्ट्रिंग जहां पे आएगा उसको सिंगल लाइन में लाना है। Still, the object Naruto is not identified by the system. So there is the error of bracket that we will solve, and now we will run the project. Now you can see our start button appear. When we click that one, the music supposed to play. So I'm clicking the start button now. You able to listen to music? Playing done, मैसेज आया, वापस से मैं प्ले कर रहा हूँ। You able to listen the music, Puran?
Yes, sir.
बटन वापस से अनेबल हुआ, and this is our practical of media